What's up, you wonderful people who I'm not going to call bastards because I'm not a dick. No, I'm kidding. I am, of course, not Brooklyn Vale, as I would hope to God anyone watching this could tell. I am Matt Kearns. Brooklyn Vale couldn't be here because he's off doing other things. But this is still Late Night with Take 3, but on Friday, not Thursday. Why? Because reasons. So tonight we are going to be playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, and then we're literally just going to talk about Star Wars because there's nothing that happened like in the movie industry that matters. There's nothing like literally. James Dean could have come back from the dead today, and none of us would have known. So, but. As per usual, Take 3 doesn't let me do things on my own because, as the Fuse for Second Look will tell you, no one cares when I do things alone. So I have a panel full of pretty much everyone who is not in Chicago. We have Malcolm. How you doing tonight, Malcolm?
I'm doing pretty good. Hoping everyone in Chicago is having a good time and feeling guilty about leaving us behind.
We also have the man who shows up just on time, Abe. How you doing, Abe?
Hi, I'm drinking tea on my in my cocoa.
Your cocoa?
Yeah, it's cocoa. I bought it for 30 pesos, which is like $2. No, less than $2.
That's good.
It was a pretty good deal.
We also have a guest tonight. We have the only guy who was awake and is not in Chicago from a chat I'm a part of, James White, who he's in. You guys have seen him in trivia stuff, I assume. How you doing, James?
Oh, I'm doing great. I have so much FOMO. All of our friends out in Chicago just running into celebrities and having so much fun and rubbing it in. But I'm here talking with you guys, so I'm having a good time.
It hurts so much. The Rastica meeting Freddie Prinze Jr. and then being called to step by him really hurt. I hope you watch this. That's payback for the Kurt Russell thing, Rasika. That's a joke only me and didn't forget. All right, so tonight, as I said, we were playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, so that's what we're going to start with. So, how the game works. I will start. I will give it to Malcolm, who will give it to Abe, who will give it to James, who will give it back to me. You guys can take that any way you want to. So the game works. I'll start with an actor saying they were in a movie with another actor, actress, and then Malcolm has to pick a movie that actor, actress was in with someone else. If you're able to relate it to Kevin Bacon, as long as you're not starting the round, you get a lifeline. Lifeline? What the? I've been watching too much Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. No, you get a save. Also, the franchise rule is in effect, which means only one Star Wars, Harry Potter. Marvel doesn't count as a franchise except for trilogies, so you can only do one Captain America, one Iron Man, etc. to things like that. Everybody got that? All right. Then let's begin. All right. Ben Affleck was in Armageddon with Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson was in Zoolander with Ben Stiller.
Well, that's the greatest movie of all time. Ben Stiller was in... I can hear myself in someone else's computer. Ben Stiller was in Meet the Parents with Robert De Niro.
It had to have been in a movie together. Maybe not.
See Kevin Bacon.
I know. I'm trying to think of Kevin Bacon movies. I'm trying to connect them, but I don't.
First timers trap. We try to think of every Kevin Bacon movie.
All right. Let's just go. De Niro was in Godfather 2 with Al Pacino.
All right. Al Pacino was in Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler. I just like to remind people of that. How the mighty have fallen.
Adam Sandler was in the very awful Pixels with Kevin James.
Was that the New Zealand title?
Kevin James was in Grown Ups with Salma Hayek.
Okay. Selma Hayek was in. Selma Hayek was in Dogma with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon was in Good Will Hunting with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams was in Jumanji with Kirsten Dunst.
Kristen Dunst was in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire.
Why would you say Spider-Man 2 instead of Spider-Man?
I just wanted to be fun. And it looks like I did.
Now, does Tobey Maguire count as being in Molly's Game?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I never saw it.
Oh, Michael Cera's character is based on Tobey Maguire. Fun fact.
You still have to
Oh, it's on me. Shit. I thought it was on you, Matt. Oh, God. Shit. You said Tobey Maguire? Okay.
Yes.
Who's not
Tobey
involved?
Maguire. Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire was in Pleasantville with Reese Witherspoon.
It's too bad I don't know anyone else in Home Again. That's an old joke from the live show. Reese Witherspoon was in.
What's that movie?
No.
That
Was in
sucks.
Legally Blonde with Luke Wilson. That's the right one.
It's the right one.
Fuck.
I'm trying to get it to a specific person. You guys aren't going there. It's killing me.
You're just trying to get it to Kevin Bacon, James. We all are.
I know. But I have like 3 Kevin Bacon movies in my head, so I'm trying to get it to one of them.
Luke Wilson was in. Fuck, I don't know if he was in this, but I want to say that Luke Wilson had an appearance in Meet the Parents with Robert De Niro.
I just admit the
That's-
Yeah,
It's also
he
Owen
wasn't in
Wilson in
that.
that.
Yeah, it's his.
Well,
brother.
I mean, I thought Luke had an appearance in it as well. I knew Owen was in it.
Well, either way, Abe did that in the first round.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
Malcolm is out, which means Abe gets to start fresh. Which, by the way, starting fresh means any franchises that were played in the last round, they're back in. So
Gotcha.
Spider-Man, stuff like that, they're all back.
Let's start with the movie poster that's on my wall. Let's go with Pulp Fiction. Harvey Keitel was in Pulp Fiction with John Travolta.
Ready, Matt?
Sure.
John Travolta was in Grease with Olivia Newton-John.
I swear to God, that's fucked I heard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Olivia Newton-John is in in fucking Xanadu, but I can't name anyone else. Fuck you, James. All right. I don't know. I'm out. Abe, you start fresh again. Because I don't fucking know.
Let's
Of
go
all the
with
John Travolta movies, good, dumb, Broken Arrow.
Oh, no, I wanted to get you out.
You know what? I invite James on here. James real fucking brother boat.
Okay, let's start with another poster. Kevin Spacey was with Annette Bening in American Beauty.
Ooh. All right. Annette Bening was in Captain Marvel with Brie Larson.
Brie Larson was in Room with William H. Macy. It was his dad. The one.
William H. Macy was in Fargo with Frances McDermott.
Frances McDormand was in Hail Caesar with Josh Brolin. She was the editor.
Josh Brolin was in Goonies. Oh, I wanted it to be really with Corey Feldman. Yeah.
What the fuck is Corey Feldman?
I was gonna say Marsha Wallace, but I didn't want to be that mean.
I don't know who he is. Welcome to your victory.
I mean, I guess you could say Corey Feldman is a lost boy.
I was gonna say he was in the Lost Boys. What's the movie? I was thinking, but I don't know who else was in that movie.
I can't believe I've been fucked by Olivia Newton-John twice.
Yeah, I looked her up at IMDb. There really is. She really hasn't been in a lot of.
She's in Xanadu. I know that, but I can't name a single person who's in that movie.
Gene Kelly is also in Xanadu.
I've never seen Xanadu.
She was also in Sharknado 5.
Oh yes, the classic. Well, that was one of the funniest games. So, do you guys want to play another round, or do you want to go straight into Star Wars?
No, I don't care.
I'll play again. Let's go.
All right. Let's switch the order. So, James, since you won the round, you start. You will go to Abe. Abe will go to Malcolm. Malcolm will go to me. So, we're just going backwards. So.
All right. Let's go. Bill Murray was in Ghostbusters with Harold Ramis.
Oh, I got a good one for this.
I do too.
It's probably the same one we're thinking of.
What's a Harold Ramis movie? Oh my god.
Oh, well, now there's two.
Harold. Okay, let's go with this. Harold Ramis was in Caddyshack with Dan Aykroyd. I'm pretty sure that's not true.
Dan Aykroyd wasn't in it, and Harold Ramis only directed it. You could have gone, Harold Ramis was in Knocked Up with Seth Rogen, or Harold Ramis was in Stripes with John Candy.
John Candy.
I was thinking about. Or Judge Reinhold, whichever. All right, so now I start fresh.
If we're going reverse, doesn't that mean I start fresh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm fucked up because I was thinking of so many good ones. All right, so you start fresh, Malcolm. What do you think? This is your show?
Hugh Jackman was in movie 43 with Kate Winslet.
Yes. Bored. Kate Winslet, I hope I'm thinking of the right person. Kate Winslet was in Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh shit, that was right.
It was right.
Leonardo DiCaprio was in Romeo plus Juliet with Claire Danes.
Oh, I really only know one for Claire Danes besides that.
Sorry,
Claire Danes was in some bizarre romantic comedy with someone.
She was in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Was she really in Terminator 3? Oh.
Yeah,
She was.
he's the girlfriend.
I never saw Terminator 3. I stopped after 2. I was smart.
Yeah, I stopped after 2 as well.
Oh, really? I'm the only one going, and I'm pretty excited for the new movie, even though some people...
I am looking forward to the new one to see what they do.
I don't know. I don't think you can be excited for it. Some people tell me on Twitter I can't be.
I like Genesis.
It has Arnold. I love Arnold in it. Like, he cracks the shit out of me. Like, when they get arrested and they're playing Bad Boys, and he like tries to smile. It kills me. The fact that literally Abe is the only person who knows what I'm talking about. All right, so now I start fresh. Let's see.
We're playing another round.
This is gonna be bad.
Yeah, we'll play another round after this.
Okay.
This one is going pretty quick. Yeah. Also, like we have like one story to talk about, unless we want this to be like a 20-minute show.
We can talk about our lives. How was the week?
How we got here. How we got to this point.
I mean, like we can always talk about Disney Plus as well.
I can always talk
That's
about
true.
how
Yeah, we can talk about Disney Plus as well.
and John abandoned me again for Chicago.
I mean, I know where my parents make me.
All right, back to the game.
I just found out
was
Clear Days
the
was one of my favorite movies. Damn it!
Movie 43.
No, Stardust.
Oh, okay. Okay. Kevin Smith was in Mallrats with Jason Lee.
Who's going?
James. It's only me and James.
It's just us two.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that.
No, we'll play another round after this.
Animated counts, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
any movie counts, except for Abe's
Yep.
favorite genre.
Jason Lee was in Incredibles with Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson was in All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
Ah, motherfucker. Set him up for that. Kevin Bacon was in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with John Candy.
John Candy was in Cool Runnings with Dougie Doug.
All right, new round. All right, Malcolm, I'll let you start. You know what? You can pick the order while I answer a text.
I think me, James, then Abe, then you.
Okay. Everyone does the same thing. They look at their movie collection or their posters.
Yeah.
Like, what to choose. The problem is I literally just said Star Wars, and I select a few others.
Right, so
Malcolm, you have 3 movie posters in your back.
yeah, and I'm not going to pick either one of them.
I'm seeing Emma Stone. I'm seeing Ryan Gosling. I'm seeing John Bernthal, Isa Gonzalez.
John Cena was in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer.
He's like the best part of that movie.
It's me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's you, James.
That movie's good.
All right. Are you after me, Matt?
What's
No,
the
it's
order?
me.
Malcolm?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna set you up, Matt. Amy Schumer was in Snatch with Goldie Hawn.
I mean, I have to say, Goldie Hawn was in Overboard with Kurt Russell.
It's like, where do I go with this now? It's like the golden ticket. Kurt Russell was in Tombstone with Michael Biehn.
Damn right he was.
I'll be your Daisy.
I'll be your Huckleberry. Don't get the quote wrong.
Kurt Russell didn't say, so I don't care.
I want to say that Michael Biehn was in Sin City with Nick Nolte.
He wasn't. Michael Biehn wasn't in that movie. I don't think so. I don't know. Also,
Let
by
me
the way,
check.
it's Hucklebearer anyway. It's not Huckleberry. It's Hucklebearer. Everyone gets it wrong. It's Hucklebearer, which is like it's Hucklebearer.
Michael Biehn, right?
It's Huckleberry. I'll be your Huckleberry. Google.
Yeah, it's Michael
Rosario Dawson.
Biehn and Sid Cine.
All right, so who's starting the new one?
The only Michael so far is Michael Clark Duncan. So let me check the full cast.
Malcolm, you had like a really popular and famous one you could have went with. Or two.
Michael
I do,
Madsen.
Yeah, Michael Biehn was in Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Michael Biehn was in Aliens with Sigourney
He
Weaver.
was?
He
Yeah,
was Kyle Reese.
he was Reese.
And
Okay,
then
he's not in the movie.
And I've never seen any of the Aliens movies, so yeah.
Oh, you need to see Aliens. It's amazing. All right, so who starts fresh now?
That's what I'm asking.
You,
Do you start fresh or do I? Okay.
no, Malcolm.
It'll be
Matt-
James. James is
Okay,
next in
James,
line.
start fresh.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Is it James?
Yeah, it's James. Because it goes James, you, then me.
Okay.
Do I want to be mean? No.
He's only going to be mean to me, guys.
Joe Pesci was in My Cousin Vinny with Ralph Macchio.
Dude, there's two good ones for this.
Yeah.
One that has like a huge cast.
Oh my God! What's a Karate Kid with? Okay. I think it's 3. Okay, Ralph Macchio was in Karate Kid 3 with. Oh my God! Hilary Swank, isn't it?
No, Hilary Swank was in the next
was in the
Karate Kid,
next
which
Karate
Ralph
Kid.
Macchio never appeared in.
Fuck that.
Yeah. You could have went with The Outsiders, with a number of the famous people in that movie,
Yeah.
Is he in that movie?
I
Yeah.
love that damn movie. That movie's
Oh no, I've
amazing.
seen it, but I remember Patrick.
He's
Swayze.
Johnny.
Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez, Matt
Diane
Dillon,
Keaton.
Diane
Lee.
Keaton. No,
That was Diane
yeah,
Lane.
Diane Lee. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a huge
Kevin
cast.
Dillon. No, Matt Dillon. Matt Dillon.
And no one fucking knew who any of them were. And then C. Thomas Howell, who went nowhere after that movie.
And
Hey,
what's
he was
the
in
name of-
Soul Man.
He was
What's
also
the
in The
name of the
Amazing
actor?
Spider-Man. All right,
What's
so
the name
now I
of the actor that plays Mr. Me? Pat Morita. That was.
yeah, Pat Morita, rest in peace. Who I don't know any other movies besides The Karate Kid, so I'm glad you didn't go with Pat Morita. All right.
I was hoping he said Pat Morita.
Sticking on the Karate Kid train,
He's in Mulan.
Martin Kove was in Rambo: First Blood Part 2 with Sylvester Stallone.
Malcolm?
No, Malcolm's out. It's just you and me, James.
Oh, is it just me and
Even
you?
Malcolm out. Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. Sylvester Stallone was in Rocky with Talia Shire.
Talia Shire was in The Godfather with James Caan.
James Caan was in Elf with Mary Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen was in Back to the Future Part 3 with Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd was in Angels in the Outfield with Tony Danza.
Tony Danza was in Don John with Scarlett Johansson.
That movie's okay.
I'm surprised you don't love
God, he
that
was in
movie.
that. Yeah. Let's see. Scarlett Johansson was in Her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix was in Gladiator with Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe was in that episode of South Park where he had the little tugboat. Let's see. Russell Crowe.
So many good ones you can pick with him in it.
I know. I'm trying to think of something smaller.
Something that
Bert.
I
At least a minor character in a movie, and I can't think of anything. Russell Crowe was in Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling was in Blade Runner 2049 with Harrison Ford.
I just want to say you had one with Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
All right.
shit. With who? Russell Crowe?
No, was
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right. You said who? From
I
2049?
said Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Let's see. Do I want to be a dick? Yeah, I want to win. Harrison Ford was in Star Wars with Ken Baker.
Kenny Baker was in. Kenny Baker was in Time Bandits with literally no one I can name, but I know he was in.
Was he really in Time Bandits?
Yeah, he's in Time Bandits. I can't name anyone.
Full movie.
Well, fuck it. Fine. James wins.
I figured we had to go to Star Wars.
We had to. You know what? That's the perfect segue into the next thing we're doing for the remainder of the show. Talk about Star Wars. Even when we talk about Disney Plus, we're just talking about Star Wars still. So today, literally, the thing that broke Twitter, which really upsets me because my job for Action Industries is on Twitter, so that kind of sucked, was the Episode 9 trailer dropped. And of course, now we know the title, which is Abe's favorite title, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So first thing I want to do, because me and Abe talked about this earlier, what does everyone think of the title? And if you don't like it, what would you change it to? So I'm going to start with Abe.
Look, I cannot change it. I don't really care about the title, but it just sounds weird in your mouth. Like, I don't know, it doesn't go well in my. Yeah, it doesn't roll. That's a problem. And they usually want that. I don't know what the movie's about. The trailer doesn't say anything to me. Only that Palpatine is back, so I don't know what to change it for. It just lends itself to theories for the next April 8 months. Yeah. So it's just that with the title, I don't have a problem with it. I guess it will make sense by when the movie comes out. It just doesn't roll well in my mouth, and that's a problem.
Okay, James, that's my only problem. What do you think of the title, James?
I don't love the title. I think the footage looked amazing, but when the title card rolled, I was very underwhelmed. I think that for me, I don't know what I would change it to, but I think the biggest problem I have with it is that this is supposed to be the conclusion of the Skywalker story and the Skywalker saga, and yet it's called The Rise of Skywalker. So it just feels kind of, opposed to those two things. I think that if it was something else, with Skywalker in it and it just wasn't Rise of, I think I would have a little bit better feelings for it. It's a very ambiguous title, though, so I don't know 100%. I mean, none of us do what it's actually going to be alluding to, because it could be so many things. So the more I've thought about it, the more I'm kind of on board. I'm not going to be boycotting just because they named it this, but it's not what my first choice would have been.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point, which is for a movie that is the end of the Skywalker saga, to call it The Rise is interesting. I believe our friend who appears at the end of this trailer would say it's ironic. But I like it because it did the same thing that The Last Jedi title did, which is just, I kind of like when titles of movies and stuff like this incite conversation, incite like, okay, what does this mean? Because every title in Star Wars means something. Like, Sidious is the Phantom Menace. The Geonosis battle is the Attack of the Clones. Or 66 is Revenge of the Sith. Luke is the A New Hope. Battle of Hoth is the Empire Striking Back. Luke is the Jedi Returning, etc. So it's going to be interesting to see what this means in connection with the film, which I like. Malcolm, what do you think of the title?
I mean, like most people, I really don't like this title a lot, because just for the same reason, like, it's supposed to be the conclusion of the Skywalker saga, and it make people think that, like, oh, there's going to be another Skywalker that's going to lead off into episodes 10, 11, 12, and all that. I personally don't know what I would change it to, but then, like, that was when I first saw the trailer anyway. Like, now that I've sort of thought about it a little bit, I think a lot of people are forgetting that Kylo Ren is technically a Skywalker. So it could be that it's the rise of him to power, and the movie's still going to end with him being sort of taken down and concluding these sagas. So maybe it could be an arc to that as well.
That's a really interesting point that I didn't think of. I think we all have been kind of conditioned in Star Wars to like stuff like Rise being something like good, like hey, the Jedi are rising, they're coming back is great, but that's actually that's fascinating. So we could literally just sit here and break down every single moment, but instead of doing that, I think let's all just choose one moment that we loved from the trailer. I know there aren't tons because it's a short trailer, but considering the fact that I know Malcolm usually gets the short end with this stuff, I'm gonna let Malcolm go first. What was your favorite moment from the trailer?
Well, I mean, like my favorite moment was just seeing Lando pop up again, but that's actually not what I'm going to talk about. It's the shot where you see the sort of remains of the Death Star 2 on Endor. Very short brief because that's what a lot of people are saying that is what it is because I was reading an article earlier which was saying that that J.J. Abrams originally planned for Force Awakens to have Rey go to the planet moon Endor and see the remains of Death Star 2 initially in the Force Awakens, but he thought it was too soon to do something like that. So looks like he's moving that scene to here, and it looks like he's whoever it is going to go to the Death Star to sort of find out secrets, maybe use it to find like any Jedi bases which may be around that no one really knows about, and to try and find more secrets about the Jedis and stuff.
Interesting. All right, James, what was your favorite moment from the trailer?
I really enjoyed the Death Star scene too, and I didn't even know that it was the Death Star until I watched it the second time. Like I didn't notice that on first glance. But I think my favorite is just that opening scene of Rey standing on the desert, igniting Anakin's lightsaber and doing that amazing Jedi flip as we assume Kylo Ren's flying in. That was just incredible. It's shot so beautifully. Like I said, the footage is just amazing. I loved every part of the trailer. It looks so good. But that was probably my favorite. Just seeing Rey finally kind of coming into her own and being a badass.
No, that was a really I think that was a really great way to kind of start it because it's like, okay, what's going on here? Because at first it's like you're hearing Luke's voice, and then it's like, okay, the lightsaber comes out. Why is it? It's when she does the turn. I was like, what's she doing? But yeah, no, that was fucking cool. All right, Abe, what was your favorite moment?
Okay, I can say Palpatine's laugh, but one. But I just want. I think Kylo rebuilding his helmet, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think the Last Jedi did a lot of things that like kind of recon the Force Awakens, and I think now JJ is doing the same.
We're gonna talk about this after favorite moments.
JJ is doing the exact same thing with the Last Jedi. So I think that was my favorite. Just thinking about that, I think the trailer looks fantastic. I really like seeing like C-3PO in action again, like there's a scene when Chris hanging in, I don't know how you call it, a sheep or something like that.
Speeder.
A speeder. Oh, of course, you fucking encyclopedia. but that's what I found interesting from the trailer, like that how the directors are reckoning themselves or each other.
We're gonna talk about that after my favorite moment because that is a big thing to talk about. But my favorite moment was it's not a specific like scene in the trailer, but it's just Luke's whole like monologue we get to Rey of just like, all these generations, we've taught you everything we know. Now it's time for you to go on, and then like no one's ever gone, not really. It's just like it just hit me because like when it comes out, when it's just like the saga ends and then you get that line, it's just like God, like, and I think that just affected me, and I think also the medal, which I think is Han's, and I think it's Leia holding Han's medal from A New Hope. I just think this movie is going to really wrap up all the loose ends of just like we're gonna really see Leia dealing with the death of Han and Luke, which I'm really happy about. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was one
really,
of the things. I'm sorry, I didn't mean. That was one of the things that bothered me on the Last Jedi. Is it you didn't have that emotion from Leia that you should have after Han's passing. Like you didn't really see her, come to grips with it. Rian Johnson really kind of glossed over that, and I think that JJ is going to come back, and you're going to see a lot more. I completely agree with you. I think that medal is Han's. I think Leia is going to be holding it. I think you're going to see a lot more emotion from her in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to set this up in a way to. This is not going to be a hey, fuck Rian Johnson. We hate the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is the fact that this is coming really from a lot of comments that J.J. Abrams has made. Which, listen, it's very clear now that there was no overarching story. It's kind of clear to that now. It's kind of clear that J.J. had ideas, Ryan had ideas, Colin Trevorrow had ideas, and we were going to get 3 movies. And now JJ's come back, and so it's kind of seeming like we're getting a sequel to Force Awakens as the end of the trilogy. Because I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Last Jedi. One of the issues I have is it felt more like a singular adventure, not a sequel to Force Awakens, even though it picked up right after. Like, we didn't get Leia dealing with the death of Han. We didn't even really get Rey dealing with it. The one scene we had of Luke dealing with it, for some reason they deleted. Like, I still don't understand that. But that's the thing is when people say, oh, retconning, like, I think that is going to happen, but I think it's going to happen because it's going to... I don't think JJ's going to completely forget about The Last Jedi. Like, it's not going to be like, so Force Awakens happened, then nothing happened, and now my movie, and now Rise of the Skywalker happens. But I think he's going to sort of wrap everything up, and he's going to deal with all the stuff that we kind of wanted to deal with in the last movie, and we're going to deal with it here. Those are my thoughts. This is going to be kind of more of a free-form discussion. What does everyone think about, like, this retcon? Like, what do we think is going to flow over from Last Jedi, and what do we think is going to come over from The Force Awakens that wasn't really dealt with in Last Jedi?
Yeah, well, I mean,
go ahead, Malcolm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was a case of maybe J.J. Abrams maybe had a like overarching plan for it and sort of said to Ryan's like, because we know he gave Rian Johnson some notes, but he did, like, in one of the interviews J.J. did, like, said, well, I gave Ryan some notes, he chose to ignore them, but I don't think he's going to completely forget about Last Jedi, because like, there's some moments like when Kylo tells Rey about her parentage and that, I still stand by my theory that was just Kylo saying anything he could to try and seduce Rey over to his side. Like, I do think we'll probably go to find out who her true parents are in this run. But I mean, there's a lot of things because I believe Finn John Boyega has said in one of his interviews that this movie is going to be a significant time jump from between Last Jedi and Rise of the Skywalkers. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to work in Leia dealing with the death of Han and Luke, especially if there's going to be a time jump.
Well, you can listen. I
mean, they may
forget about people who. Like, I think it could even be something just as simple as, like, she just finds the medal. And that just gets, like, you have that where, like, a loved one dies, and it could be, like, a couple years after, but you're just, like, cleaning. You just, like, oh, you find, like, their jacket, and you just go, fuck. James, you were going on.
I think the biggest problem that they had is they didn't have somebody overseeing the entire story. it's obviously been stated many times by many people, but they didn't have somebody like a Kevin Feige saying, all right, we're going from point A to point B to point C, and then we're going to have JJ do his thing, we're going to have Ryan do his thing, and we're going to have Colin Trevorrow do his thing, and you just have to get from point A to point B. And because JJ had his idea in mind, and then Ryan came in and just did his thing, it's put, you know, a lot of pressure on this movie to kind of tie loose ends up and tie up things from two different movies, from two different filmmakers. Whereas if Kathleen Kennedy were able to say, look, this is the story we're going to tell, go ahead and tell it, but we have to hit these beats along the way. And I don't think they had that structure in place, and that's the biggest problem. But I think JJ is going to be able to kind of wrap things up. I'm a little apprehensive that they're going to kind of ignore a lot of things in The Last Jedi. I don't think they are going to just completely ignore the entire movie. There's going to be some things that are obviously going to be kept over. But I hope they don't. I hope they don't try to retcon too much. And retcon's, you know, not even probably the correct word, because I don't think I agree with Malcolm. I think that Kylo was just trying to lead Rey astray, saying that her parents were nobody and drunk junk traders or whatever it was. I think that is just a red herring.
I mean, like,
but, you know,
it's a cult. Let's be honest. Like, it's what do cult leaders do? They tell you what you want to hear, and the sad thing is Rey wants to think that, because that's easier for her to digest that, like, oh, my parents were just like shitty people and that's why we left me, instead of like they were really good people, like they were Han and Leia and they left me, because that's harder to deal with. I don't want them to forget about Last Jedi either, because I just, even though it's not my favorite Star Wars movie, a lot of people I know do love it, and I just think that would be upsetting if they did they went like, so Force Awakens happened, and then this side story happened, and then we got back to the main story. Like, that would suck. But I think there are a couple things that could be sort of tweaked. I think the parentage is one that I think could be, and we don't have to get into theories. I have my own theory, personally, that I can tell these guys off air. I don't need to bore any of our viewers with my Obi-Wan's granddaughter theory, which I have really thought out probably too well.
I mean, as long as we never have to hear the words Canto Bite again.
Oh. Yes. So the laugh. Let's just freaking, I was watching the panel live stream on my Apple TV down in my living room, and literally my mom came in from running errands, and the laugh had just happened, and I like vaulted off of the couch, because there's something about this character that just has that power, and there's just something about Ian McDiarmid's laugh, and just the gears start turning in my head into how does he work into this movie. Me and Malcolm had a discussion about this far earlier, where I had, again, another very lengthy idea, but how do you guys think Palpatine's going to work into this movie?
Well, I mean, like, I think it could be a case of this might be the first, like, Ghost we see that was from a dark side user, because I think if they go back to the if them going back to the second Death Star and all that, like, if it's whoever is going, his ghost might turn up there and like talk to them or something. And
do you think we could see, if going by the series, do you think we could get a Hannibal Lecter scene where it's like Rey talking to Palpatine, like on the second Death Star, and kind of like, listen, you can like kill this Kylo guy, and that'd be pretty.
I want to see Force Ghost versus Sith Ghost.
Oh my god!
You get You get Luke Ghost versus Palpatine Ghost. Give me that right now.
God damn it. And then Anakin and Ben and Yoda, they all jump in.
I don't want Hayden Christensen anywhere near this movie.
Oh, James, you and I.
No, well, I mean,
Liam Neeson as well.
Well, I mean, there was rumors that Anakin, Hayden Christensen was coming back in some form.
And I say that completely knowing that he's a much better actor than George Lucas got out of him. That was a lot of dialogue and direction that was not in his control. He's a much better actor than what he portrayed in the prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I think if they do find a way to get Hayden back in, just as a small role in Episode 9, I think JJ could probably get more out of him than what George did.
I'm not joining on to this Hayden hate train, all right, with the pair of you, because I love it. Abe, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Hayden Christensen in the Star Wars prequels, yay or nay?
He's like a piece of wood.
3 against 1.
Leave them. I don't care. I don't care. What?
I mean, for the record, I actually didn't mind. I actually didn't mind his portrayal as Anakin myself.
It's not
because I don't think his acting is because it's his. He's just a terrible actor. I think it comes down to the way the script was and the direction as well. I think it all played into that.
All right. Well, I think that Anakin, Ben, and Yoda are going to appear in this simply just based on the line "we," not I. Luke doesn't say "I have taught you this." He says "we." That's plural.
Yeah.
So that I just think like it's also, again, you're wrapping up the Skywalker saga. You have why would you not take the opportunity to have Luke and Anakin talk to Rey? Like, to have the 3 generations together in a scene. Like, you have this ability with Force Ghost. Why would you not take it? Like, that's just me. Like, I'm just like, listen, if the movie comes out and it doesn't have that, fine, but I still would think it's a missed opportunity if they don't have it in there. But again, that's just huge speculation on my part.
I have a question for everybody. Well, you guys that are more well-versed in Star Wars. Does Kylo know that Anakin, turned to the light side at the end of his life? Because if I'm not mistaken, Kylo idolized Vader in The Last Jedi. In the Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I've had the question does he not know?
Yeah, because it will make sense. Like Luke is for Rey, what Palpatine will be for Kylo. I think that will be an interesting approach. Like 2 sides.
It is interesting. I think to go along with that, I think that's where Palpatine could play him for Kylo, which is like, like he could even shatter that image of Vader, and he could be like, did this to me? You're idol. You want to idolize someone who's actually really evil and actually wants to take over the galaxy? Papa Palpatine over here.
I think it will be interesting.
I've had that question for a while.
I think it will be interesting that Luke, it's the one that reveals Kylo that, because it's JJ directing, so I guess he's gonna take some of the story he set up in the Force Awakens and continue it. So I guess that will be an interesting approach, like Luke revealing to Kylo what Vader did, and Kylo just discovering
just going based on this. Do we want Kylo redeemed? Because I'm a big no. I'm a big no. 1, it would just be copying Vader's, and 2, the son of a bitch murdered my second favorite character in Star Wars. Die. Kill him with fire.
I'm of 2 minds. I don't want him redeemed for the same reason you initially brought up, in that it's the same arc. You would have a bad guy, and then you redeem the bad guy. However, if it ends up being that Kylo was kind of like a sleeper cell, and that Han was, he was dying from something else, and he sacrificed himself and told Kylo that he had to kill him to keep, undercover, that would be a little bit different for me. I would be okay with that a little bit more. But if it's just a complete redemption that he actually killed Han just out of anger and then
I don't think I can go with that because of Last Jedi. Because
I know, that's the problem.
Snoke, and then he's just like, hey, let's go and kill the Resistance. Let's go kill them on Crete. Like, he also killed Luke. Oh my god, he killed 2 of my favorite characters.
He didn't kill Luke.
You're going down.
Luke killed himself, technically.
God forbid I ever meet Adam Driver.
But I mean, I think Kylo Ren's gone too far to be.
But that's what I'm afraid about with the title, because I do think that the title might refer to him, and I'm afraid of that because I don't want him to be redeemed, and I don't want him to be the rise.
Okay, talking about the title, do you guys see a possibility which it's the rise of Skywalker, but it actually means like the rise of evil, like it ends with Kylo winning at the end, or something like that?
That's what Malcolm said earlier. Yeah,
it could be. We don't know. I mean, again, maybe they go with Luke being the father. I don't think they're going to go with that. I think if that was going to be, I think that would have had to have been dealt with in the last movie. I saw a theory, I forget where I read it. It was either Twitter or Facebook or somewhere. Someone was like, well, what if it's like Skywalker becomes a replacement for Jedi? And so it's like that, to carry that legacy on, it's not Jedi, it's Skywalker.
Actually, like that makes sense because it's Rise of Skywalker, isn't it? Not Rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is what I love, is just a title just inciting this stuff. But yeah, Kylo, and listen, I've heard the argument from people before. I heard the argument of like, well, Anakin killed like all these people and all this, and it's like, yeah, but he was also the chosen one. Like at the end of the day, he was the chosen one. And he fulfilled his prophecy. That's what he did. Kylo is I like Kylo kind of.
Kylo is probably the most interesting character in the trilogy. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think he has the most I think Adam Driver is the best actor and I think he brings interesting choices to his character. So turning Kylo would not like it, but I think he can pull it off. If someone can pull it off as an acting wise, it's Adam Driver.
Malcolm, go.
Yeah, because I mean the way I look at it is that. Like the reason I think Kylo's gone too far to be redeemed is like he killed his own father, and 2 the way he killed Snoke, which was, you could say, was his master at the time, was different to when Vader killed the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, because Vader killed the Emperor because the Emperor was trying to hurt Luke. Kylo Ren just flat out murdered Snoke.
Well, the difference is that Vader killed the Emperor to protect his son. Kylo killed Snoke for himself, not for Rey. He did it for himself. He ate Snoke, and then also he takes over the First Order. He doesn't go with Rey, and he doesn't stop firing on the ships. He's like, so Rey, you want to just hang out here?
Is one of fuck.
I fucking knew. I was like, what's he gonna say? He's gonna say something. I knew it. We all know that Rey is winding up with Poe, because if you have your pick of the lot, you go with Oscar Isaac, guys. The best character.
I mean, do you watch the panel? I think it's gonna end up Sausage Party style.
The panel was in regards to that, the panel was so interesting because it's just like, there really is kind of like a love pentagon, as John Boyega said, because it's like, you have Finn's got the thing going for Rey through Force Awakens and then Last Jedi, but then he has the thing with Rose, and Rose is way more into Finn than he is to her. And then you have Rey and Poe at the end, and it's just like, fuck, where are we starting? Because all these characters are together, that's also something I love. One of the things that I wasn't a fan of in The Last Jedi was the fact that everyone was very separated. Mm-hmm. Poe was dealing with all the Holdo stuff on the ship. Finn and Rose were off to Canto Bight. Rey was trained with Luke. I like the fact that we're finally we're getting that Star Wars feel of just like, here's the group. We get the group. We get the group going on the adventure together. You know, and Lando coming back. I'm so excited, which, by the way, as a Solo fan, he's wearing the same damn outfit when he first meets Han. It's the same yellow shirt and cape, which I love that. I hope they make reference to that somehow. I don't know how you do, but that would be so cool. Just don't mention your droid, Lando, and I'll be real happy, because that's the one part I hate about Solo. But yeah, that's something I really love, is the fact that we're getting that. We're getting the team coming together and going on the adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys just? What are your? There's so many things to talk about. Is there anything that we haven't brought up that anyone wants to bring up? Or
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just hoping it's going to be a satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga, because, as Bob Iger said in an interview, that like after Episode 9 and that the Star Wars movies are going to be on hiatus for a little bit. They're going to take a break and pause and sort of because there is movies in development, like Benioff and Weiss are doing something. Ryan Johnson supposedly still doing something, but Bob Iger has said that this will be the last new Star Wars movie for a while, but until they know where they want to go. Because he did make a point of saying that it is the end of the Skywalker saga as well. So
yeah, it's the end of the Skywalker saga. Anything else anyone wants to say, or do you guys want to move on to Disney Plus?
I will say one thing before we head on to Disney Plus is you mentioned it about the pairing up, and I kind of like that they really haven't had a romantic storyline through two movies. You know, these movies don't have to be about, everybody has to fall in love and things like that. It can be about platonic friendships, and it can be about, just being a group of friends that are all fighting for one side, and you don't have to have a love story mixed into it. So I kind of enjoy that.
I think it was either Boyega or Isaac who said, like, it's a war. Like,
right, exactly.
We kind of have these. I kind of like that he said that, because I was like, for these characters, it makes sense, because like Anakin and Padme, they kind of started their fame when they were kids, and then that sort of grew into their 20s. Han and Leia was literally, they spent so much time together that they just...
Well, when Anakin was a kid and Padme was like 27.
She was 14. That is...
I know.
Why were they not the same age?
It looked so bad.
Why were they not the same? I know you can have a 9-year-old queen, but just make Anakin 13. Regardless.
Because he's a champ.
Anakin, like, let's be honest. Anakin, Hayden Christensen's a good-looking dude, but Anakin, the character, like, he fucking shot out of his weight class when he got Padme. We can all agree with that. Like, way fucking out of his weight class.
Yeah, he overkicked his coverage.
But I kind of like that. I like that we've had these sort of small moments between the characters. And yeah, I don't need this movie to end with like a wedding or something. Like, I kind of think just in this movie, like, if you have those small moments, it's just like, that was one of my favorite things about Rogue One, was Cassian and Jyn never had anything.
Right.
Some people try to say the ending with them, but that's literally like, fuck, we're about to die. How about we just have one like last moment of humanity together?
And you can have romance. You can have romance in a story. It just doesn't necessarily have to be there. You don't need to force something. You don't need to force Jyn and Finn. I mean, Rey and Finn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to force Rey and Finn, or you don't need to force Finn and Poe. That would be a mic drop moment if they would actually go there, but they're not going to do it.
If they did it, yeah. But I kind of like that. I think just sort of keeping that in this movie. And listen, if it does happen, that's fine. Again, like, I think the time jump, I think that's the one thing I'm most looking forward to, is with the time jump and with the adventures, the fact of like, I think we're going to start off this movie with the 4 principal characters from the last movie all having the kind of relationship we saw Luke, Han, and Leia have in Empire, where it's just like, they know each other. they all care about each other. They all know each other's, like, you know, it's the group of friends. That's one of the things I love about Empire is that beginning stuff on Hoth. It's just like everybody knows everybody. Everybody cares about everybody, and it just makes the drama that happens in that movie so much better. And that's what I'm looking forward to in this movie. So yeah, we talked a lot about this. It was, at the end of the day, it was an amazing trailer. It really was. And as a Phantom Menace fan, I love the fact that it has the same opening that the Phantom Menace teaser had, with every generation has a legend. Oh, I'm sorry, James. Do you not agree with me? Wait until you see. You should never look up my rankings for the Star Wars movies on my.
I've seen your rankings.
Rank list, no shame. All right,
dude, it gave me acid reflux reading that list.
Fuck off. I don't. You know what? Listen, The Force Awakens is a well-made movie, but it's.
I love The Force Awakens. It's just more about your prequel love. But different generations.
You want to know? That's the difference. Is I'm like younger than you guys. Yeah. I was like.
You're my age.
Oh yeah, Abe, you and me, we're prequel. It's not these fucking old.
I'm not. They're woods walking in that one.
All right, fuck you. That's the Lord of the Rings movies. Those actually have fucking wood walking.
Which
now,
movie?
am I going to turn it over to you?
Pinocchio.
Talk.
Yeah, but the Lord of the Rings have good dialogue and good direction.
I like Lord of the Rings now, so I can't even make fun of these movies, which I hate.
No, look, I don't think that I love parts of the Phantom Menace. I just think that it was bogged down with bureaucracy at the beginning, and I think Jake Lloyd was a bad choice. He was
7.
I know. I don't think he's terrible. I think George Lucas is a bad director.
Regardless,
I think George Lucas was just a bad director in those movies. But the only movie that I hate out of all those is Attack of the Clones. I think that movie's terrible.
I get that.
But the other one.
But regardless, I actually like all the taxation and stuff like that. It's interesting to actually see the Star Wars universe be expanded to stuff like that. Like,
yeah, but with the racist Japanese aliens at the beginning, it's so bad.
That I said because it's also cool to sort of see. We're literally watching Hitler of the Star Wars universe and how he played the system to his own benefit. And
what about the Disney Plus?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about Disney Plus.
Now, you know this far better than I, because as we talked about earlier, there's only one thing I really know about this. So I'm going to turn this over to you, and I'm going to let you run this. So do as you wish, sir.
Well, I mean, the day before, yesterday, before separation.
Seems so far away. Now and then.
Was it yesterday?
I don't know. I mean, it was before sort of whatever it was, like before the Twitter was taken over by Star Wars Episode 9 trailer.
It was yesterday, I think. It was.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah. Twitter was taken over by Disney Plus. So I mean, Disney probably did a smart idea, not trying to compete with Star Wars, which they already owned anyway. But they announced details for Disney Plus. They announced that it's going to be $6.99 for the debut monthly fee. They haven't they've said it's going to be in America. They haven't quite said on what other countries or things are going to be included in the launch date for Disney Plus. And no, my luck, they're not going to include New Zealand as yet. But
and the launch date is in November, right?
November the 12th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they actually did release the information for the rollouts for everything. I'm gonna pull it up because it was buried, but I'll
just say this: the sole reason why I'm paying $6.99 for a month is Clone Wars Season 7. I can take or leave The Mandalorian, and I'll wait to re-review, but I'm a Clone Wars fanatic. Is one of my favorite things about Star Wars, and I'm talking both micro series and CGI. That is why I'm paying that month to see Season 7 of the Clone Wars. I'll say that there. Is there anything else anyone's looking forward to while James pulls up that stuff?
Everything. I'm looking forward to everything.
Yeah, but it's like I'm looking forward to see what they end up doing with the MCU shows that they're doing, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, this WandaVision, which I'm still convinced is the working title. They haven't actually decided what the actual title is going to be.
Wanda and the Vision.
Well, in the that's what I mean.
The logo WandaVision,
yeah. That's what they said, like WandaVision. So once you,
I want WandaVision to literally be like a 60s sitcom where it's just like one's a telepath, the other's an android. It's just like the regular. It's like, Wanda, we've run out of toilet paper. We need to go to the store and get more. I want that show.
But what the one thing that they did also say about the MCU shows doing is this, what they've announced that what the first episode of this What If series that they're doing. The first episode of What If will be what if Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum and Steve Rogers stayed scrawny. And from what I've heard, is it's all going to somewhat involve Steve Rogers be made an armored suit by Howard Stark. And
you're correct.
I heard. Now, have they talked about, is What If going to be live action or animated?
Oh, it's animated.
Animated. But I believe it's going to be voiced.
But is it voiced by the MCU actors?
Yes.
So okay,
yeah,
that is awesome. That's really cool. That's exciting. That is very exciting. But yeah, Clone Wars season 7. Malcolm somehow didn't know that there was a season 7 of Clone Wars until today when I was talking about it. He's like, and at first I thought Malcolm was messing with me, and then I was like, how do you not know this? I remember I was in San Diego when it dropped, and I was like in my hotel. Me and my brother just came back from the convention, and I was like, oh my God, Clone Wars season 7. Me and my brother crowded around my little phone and just I freaking lost it because I love that show so much. I'm also, so as someone who's a fan of a lot of the live action Disney stuff, I really hope by November their rollout is better than what they currently have.
Okay, I found the rules.
Okay.
All right, so North America in Q1. So Q1 fiscal year, that would be, November 12th is what they're saying. So North America in Q1. Europe, Q1, Q2. Asian Pacific, it looks like kind of all year up to 2021, the end of 2021. So Asian Pacific area is going to spread out over the time there. The Eastern Europe block is going to be next year, Q1 of 2021. So that would be probably November of 2020. And then the same thing with Latin America in Q1 of 2021. So November 20.
Sorry, Malcolm. You don't get to spend your money.
I think
it just says Asian Pacific with a big bar going all the way across it. So you could have that anytime in the next 2 years, buddy.
Yeah, generally they always lump Australia and New Zealand in with Asia Pacific. So
I think those rollouts mean it's because there's right now in Mexico Netflix still has a ton of MCU titles. It's dropping MCU titles. I think it's more with the contract with many of the distributors around the world, and they're waiting to those contracts to finish. So
because for just as a Star Wars fan, TNT, when does their contract end? Because they still have the rights to air Star Wars movies on TV. TNT still has those rights.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's I think they're waiting for those contracts to expire so they can start opening more. Also,
I thought that was expiring soon.
Yeah, because the expired this year. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know about the contracts and that because myself, but it could also be because they have to adapt the app for the languages of the various countries as well. So
that does take a lot.
Yeah, And I mean, it's probably a case of like, because I mean, I'm pretty sure with Netflix, it took that a while to get all around the world. I think there are some places which are still getting Netflix now.
Yeah. Okay, so the one thing we also need to talk about is that Simpsons promo was so freaking great. Like, I love The Simpsons. It's one of my favorite shows. It was so perfect. And as long as Disney Plus pretty much copies what FX has with Simpsons World, the website, I'll be happy. Where it's literally just like, here's all the seasons, here's all the episodes, go. Like, just enjoy. As long as they do that, I'll be happy. I don't watch the new stuff. I just care about the old Simpsons stuff up to a season. So, but yeah, that promo, they had like the statues of Vader and Bob Iger. It was great.
Look, I love the Simpsons video. That was so good. Out of all of us, I would probably classify myself as probably the biggest Disney fan among us. I don't know. Growing up, 45 minutes outside of Disney World, I would go there at least 5 times a year, and I still go at least 2 or 3, 4 times a year. But Disney has always been a part of my life, whether it's movies or cartoons or TV. I'm just so excited to see what is going to be released. We're going to get all the classic cartoons. There is no Vault anymore. We're going to get a lot of live action stuff right away, day one. So now, Sam Levine has no excuse to remember who the Titans are.
Just give me the Tim Curry, Charlie Sheen, Three Musketeers, and I'll be happy.
That movie is so good. I love that movie.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you got Charlie Sheen with Chris O'Donnell,
Kiefer Sutherland,
and Oliver Platt.
Like, and Tim Curry's the villain, and
Rebecca De Mornay.
It's like a who's who of 90s action movies.
It's such a good movie. I love it, and I haven't seen it in years, and I need to rewatch it immediately. But no, there's so many things. But on top of that, like what I'm going to in my brain, on top of the movies and on top of the new series and stuff like that, is I want to see like these classic cartoons. I want to see the Disney afternoon stuff. I want to be able to sit there and binge watch DuckTales and Tailspin and Gargoyles and all this stuff. Like, give me all of that right now. Let me get some Boy Meets World and all this stuff.
I'm a Nazi like everyone else, right?
Let me watch 15 episodes of Kids Incorporated over and over again. None of you know what Kids Incorporated is. Go look it up on YouTube. It's amazing.
I don't know. I want to watch
Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas started on that show.
Wow. I mean, talking about starting on the show, there's a good chance they're probably going to put the classic episodes of the Mickey Mouse Club on there, where Britney Spears, Ryan Gosling, and Justin Timberlake got their
excuse me, that's not the classic episodes. You're going back to the classic episodes. You're talking about Annette Funicello and Cubby. That's the classic episodes. You're talking about the revival, which I watched all the time, and I love that show.
I'm just waiting for them to put Kurt Russell's like whole beginning filmography on there. That's just me. He started.
Well,
with like
World's
he wasn't in the he wasn't in Flubber, was he? Like the Absent-Minded Professor, was he one?
That was Robin Williams.
No. Flubber's the remake.
Not Flubber. Absent-Minded Professor with Fred McMurray. Kurt Russell was in one of those as like a student, and I can't remember which one it was.
Oh my God, Sky High. Fuck, that's going to be on here. Shit.
Not that.
Full time.
One from the 60s.
I am looking that up now.
Kurt Russell was a student in a Disney movie in the 60s, and I don't know if it was Absent-Minded Professor or it was one of those.
Now you see him, now you don't? Is it that one?
No, that was a Disney Channel original movie. And it was a great one. Which, by the way, all those DComs, that's my give me Luck of the Irish, give me 13th Year, give me Cowbells. I don't fucking care. I'll rewatch that crap. I watched it enough when I was a child.
Was it a TV series or a movie that you were thinking?
It was a movie. Yep. And we obviously have this amazing Jeff Goldblum series.
Oh my God!
It's gonna be amazing. The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Give me that right now. I will pay you $50 a month. Let me just watch Jeff Goldblum for an hour every day.
My thing about that, I am a Disney fan. I'm not super like James and other people like that, but I'm more like, when it comes to Disney, Pixar was really that thing. I was that generation where like that was my jam. And then like, you know, the DComs and everything. But
the computer wore tennis shoes.
That's one of them. That might be the one.
But I love what they're doing. I think this is a really it's similar to, as a DC fan, what I really loved about DC Multiverse, what they started doing, which is just like opening up like, you know, all these movies, a lot of their old shows, which I'm hoping DC Multiverse is able to grow once like contracts like Smallville with Hulu runs out. They could get Smallville on there and stuff like that. Like, it's both of these things, I think it's really cool to just kind of have devoted to just the thing you love instead of like I love Netflix, I love Amazon Prime, but it does kind of suck when you like my parents deal with this a lot. Like, they'll go on Netflix and they'll just find nothing they want to watch. Whereas here it's like, if you are a Disney fan, there's something you want to see, whether it's new, whether it's old, and I think that's going to be such a cool thing. Like, again, and I think also just from a marketing perspective, what they've done is they're pulling in all the different types of fans. You have the nostalgic fans who, it's like, hey, all those shows you watched when you were a kid, we got them. You know, all the Marvel fans, every Marvel movie plus new stuff. People like me, Star Wars fans. Hey, do you love Clone Wars? Do you think it sucks that the Lost Missions was the last thing you saw? No, we're bringing it back. And we also have a new show on there.
You know what? Now that you brought up Clone Wars, I'm excited that they might have all the episodes of Clone Wars and Rebels on, because I haven't watched those shows.
I would hope to God they do, since they took it off Netflix.
Right, yeah. I'm hoping that I'll be able to catch up on those. You know, Rebels, I hear, is amazing, and I've always wanted to watch it, and it was never streaming anywhere completely.
Rebels is...
At least, yeah. I heard it's really good.
I'm the wrong person. Darth Maul is really awesome in Rebels. I'll say that. Yeah, I love him in Rebels. I'm more of a Clone Wars guy.
Come on. You got to give Sam Witwer.
I'm more of a Clone Wars guy when it comes to Clone Wars or Rebels. I'm far more Clone Wars. I love what they did with Clone Wars. I love all the interactions of all of the characters in that show was amazing. Those 5 seasons, like, that show is so much, like, that show was with me. Like, we didn't even have like a real DVR. There is somewhere in my basement a VHS that has the first season of Clone Wars, because that's how I had to record the episodes. And like, my favorite story with my brother was, I was in 6th grade and I was going to 6th grade dance because I was kind of being forced to, because I had to socialize. And like, I remember like literally grabbing my brother by like the shirt collar and be like, if you don't record this episode of Clone Wars, I'm going to beat your ass. Like, that's how much I love it.
You were in elementary school when Clone Wars was on TV?
No, I was in 6th grade when the show...
That's elementary
That's elementary school.
No, it's middle school.
No, it's not. Middle school is 7th and 8th grade.
No, my elementary school was kindergarten to 5th grade, and then middle school was 6th grade to 8th grade.
That's weird.
Damn.
That's how we did it
I think
New York.
I heard that they were doing that in California a couple of years ago, and they did not. What I do? Can I mention something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm excited about this Monsters Inc. series called Monsters at Work.
Yes.
What the fuck is this? Like,
it's about a mechanic.
Where do you go with this story?
Okay. I'm gonna read you what it says in Wikipedia. 6 months after the events of Monsters Inc., the city of Monstropolis is now filled with the son of laughter. Tyler Tussman, a mechanic on the facilities team, dreams of working alongside his idols Mike and Sully. And everybody's returning. John Goodman and Bill Crystal, which is probably the greatest thing of all time.
Is it's like, I want to work with Mike and Sully.
I mean, I don't think they're the stars, but like they're part, like it's more of a spin-off where they appear.
Is he one of the guys from the movies who it's like, look, you're making him lose his focus?
I think that is him. It's a mechanic.
But yeah, I mean, I've been talking about other series that they're developing. I've heard that they're also going to do a series based on the Sandlot. You know, the great movie which has Ghostface in it.
Oh, don't you even.
Please don't get me started on this. Please don't get me started on this.
All right, listen. We had an amazing movie, one of the greatest films ever made, and then we had 2 shit boxes. Can we just leave it alone? We listen. Did no one listen to the end of the movie? We know what happens to every single one of the characters. We know. I don't need to see them, especially considering the fact that the actor who played Benny the Jet Rodriguez is still running from the cops or is arrested.
Running from the cops? I thought he was a firefighter in LA.
You might want to look up this actor. James, he had a stuff happened recently.
Yes, but apparently we're also getting a Love Simon series as well.
Is that a Disney production?
It's Fox.
It was Fox.
But
Fox 2000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the movie. I don't know where they can go off a series of it.
I don't know where you go with Sandlot. Like, what? Unless, because I swear if it is literally like, oh, we got the team back together and we're going to play another game. It's like,
I assume what it's going to be is going to be the kids of, of the main cast, or they're going to try to bring together, maybe they've all kind of lost their way and they're going to try to reach back into, that adolescence. But there was a great postscript at the end of that movie. It told you where every character went, what happened. We don't need to see this. We don't need this movie. I hope it's good. I love The Sandlot. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I was one of those kids playing out in the yard with just my friends, making our own baseball field. I remember cutting a log off of a tree and carving my own baseball bat, and it weighed like 15 pounds. You couldn't swing it. But this movie is just so unnecessary, and I hope it's great. I don't think it's going to be, or the series, excuse me. But somebody did bring up earlier, and I want to mention it. There's a bunch of great documentary series that's going to be on this channel too. They're going to have documentaries about past animators and costumes and all these different things from the Disney history, and that's going to be just amazing. Seeing, I believe there's a documentary about the Imagineers who came up with rides and things like that, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm really interested in seeing, is a lot of this behind the scenes stuff about Disney's history that's just going to be so informative, so in depth, and with them doing it, the production's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be something.
$70 for the year. I mean, the amount of entertainment you'll be able to get. I mean, I could get $70 worth in a weekend with this series or with this platform.
Abe's like, I know something else you can do on a weekend for $70.
I'm looking at shoes.
Yeah, it's interesting because me and my sister pay like, I think it's $54 for Amazon Prime. We do yearly, so.
Can I ask you a question? Because I don't have Amazon Prime. How many people can watch at the same time?
As many as you want. Netflix is the only one that has like, all 2 screens. If it's Amazon Prime, it's like, give your fucking code to like 97 of your friends. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and then they can screw up your list.
Yeah, they can fuck up my queue when I'm trying to watch Psych. They can just totally fuck me up. It's really.
But yeah, I was just looking up to see if I could find up one of the famous John Schnepp once that he had on Movie Talk about the holiday comedy about Santa and all that. Apparently that is still in production and will be on Disney Plus.
No, that's been finished for a while. They've been saving Nicole. It's the name, the Anna Kendrick one. They've been saving that movie for 2 years. Same with that Lady in the Tramp. Can we talk about that Lady in the Tramp thing?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, but I don't need to see live action. I don't need dogs eating.
What for this?
That's I like this Lady in the Tramp. No, I will watch it too. But like, I love that movie.
Okay, although
it just looks weird.
Although it'll be interesting to see sort of how it goes, because I mean, it's one of those ones that I was the one that didn't really want to see the live action version of Dumbo, but I went to see it, and it was actually enjoyable to see how much different it actually turned out to be from the animated
told me,
movie.
apparently, I can actually watch this version, which is great because I can't watch the original anymore. So
I've heard the opposite, so I don't know.
Ooh.
Do you want to take Malcolm's role?
Well, the thing is, I'll tell my story here. It has nothing to do with crows. My whole thing is, as a child, most kids have Bambi's mom.
It's Dumbo's mom.
No,
absolutely.
It was when the fucking kids harass Dumbo and the mom just tries to protect them, and the fuckers separate them. That fucked me when I was a kid. It's like, no,
yeah,
that's not how it works, you fuckers. And that's why I don't watch Dumbo anymore. I'll watch.
Yeah.
You know what? I was about to say I will not watch Bambi's Mom 1,000 times. I won't do that. That is what. However, can we talk about that? That's what.
I'd rather watch Bambi's mom die 100 times than hear Baby Mine once.
Like
it's just like
it's
crushing.
One of the worst, like edited things where it's just like your mother is not here anymore, and it's like tra la la twiddly twiddly. It's like no, Disney, you can't make me forget what just happened. And now, since it's available on Disney Plus, kids of all ages can be emotionally and mentally scarred for the rest of their lives. I think we've been on for a while. I think this is a good point to start wrapping up. So, what is everyone's final thoughts on Disney Plus? I'll start with Malcolm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say. Just that, I really wish this isn't that. Because we are getting a High School Musical TV series and as well, but who cares about High School Musical?
Listen, you shut the hell up there, Malcolm. Some of us on here do. And you can bet on it, bet on it, bet on it. Oh. All right, giant Disney fan, James. What are your final thoughts on Disney Plus?
Look, here's the thing. High School Musical, am I going to watch it? No. But am I going to watch all the classic Disney animated movies? Yes. Am I going to watch the Marvel movies? Yes. Am I going to watch the Star Wars movies? Yes. Am I going to watch all the Disney TV shows? Yes. There's something for absolutely anybody. Not one person here or anybody watching can say that they don't have one bit of fandom that is going to be covered by Disney Plus. You can watch absolutely anything that they've made. They're making all this new stuff. The Mandalorian looks amazing. All these new series from Marvel with Loki, with the Winter Soldier and Falcon, with the Scarlet Witch. There's going to be so many different things, all these classic series and classic movies. I'm all for it. Sign me up now. Give it to me right this second so I can ingest it into my brain. I'm ready. I want it. Let's go.
All right, Abe, your final thoughts on Disney Plus.
I just want to say that we're all in this together. Once we know that we're all the stars.
We're all in this together. And we know.
I don't know what this is.
High School Musical? No.
Yeah. No. First one. That all you have to say, Abe?
No.
Abe, listen, you gotta get your head in the game. You gotta get your head in the game.
What was the question?
The question was, what are your final thoughts on Disney Plus?
I'm excited to have the library. I don't know. Okay. I think I'm gonna watch High School Musical now.
Okay. So, like I said at the start, I'm gonna end it here. Clone Wars season 7. They got me. They put that bait on the hook, and I took it, and I don't care because I'm gonna enjoy it for that month I pay for this service. So
how dare you?
That's it. I'm so sorry. I pay for Amazon Prime, okay, and that has a lot of shit on there that I do watch. Listen, if Young Indiana Jones Chronicles goes over to Disney Plus, I'll probably have to keep it because I love that show. All right, so this was a really, really fun episode. Thank you guys for being on. All right, tell the good people where they can find you, Malcolm.
You can find me on Sundays hosting Rankum. This week we're doing top 10 DC movies in honor of Shazam. You can also find me over on Full Metal Trivia. I host Full Metal Random every week. Next week, talking about Disney Plus, is Pirates of the Caribbean match with Caleb Coho, who thinks he knows everything about Pirates of the Caribbean. He's going to be taking on Brian Michaels and Lucas Shieldbat. And you could also find me in Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Melkor.
He thinks he knows everything, so if I ask him how many times in all 5 of the films does Johnny Depp blink, he could tell me that.
7,212.
Abe, where can the good people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at AbrahamF25. You can follow me on Letterboxd and listening to this song. Okay, we're gonna get back.
We're gonna get copyright strike. It's usually me who does it. Our guest, James, thank you for coming on the show. And where can the good people find you online?
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. This is a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter, on Letterboxd, on Stardust, and on Instagram, all at Gator24, G4, TOR 24. And you can find me on Full Metal. You can find me on Multiplex, competing in trivia matches and destroying my opponents. I'm still waiting for Malcolm to schedule my Parks and Recreation fandom match. I've been waiting and looking at the schedule for like 2 months. I've got nothing on the books. So
I will
one of these days,
play you in Parks and Rec.
Let's go. Right there. I've got
the best match ever. Literally.
It'd
be awesome, Sauce.
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
It's true, you owe me, Junior. That's a Star Wars line. But you guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, Matt Movies 611 on YouTube, and right here hosting Second Look. Episode dropping this month is going to be on one of my favorite sports movies, Moneyball. Last month's episode went up a couple of weeks ago. It was on the Smallville Season 2 finale, Exodus. You can also find me and Sandy Robinson. We run a podcast called Rhyme and Reason. Episode forthcoming. Schedules have not really worked out, but you can find our full playlist. You can also follow Take 3 on Twitter and Instagram at Take3Video. Please be sure to subscribe to us, join the Facebook group so that you can have tons of fun conversations with all of us. And remember to like and share this video around because word of mouth helps. This was such a fun show. Thank you to my entire panel, and we will see you guys next week. Drive home safe.